Afternoon, here we are. We've had this Mondeo in today for a noisy clutch. So to do the clutch, we've had to remove the subframe. There's a subframe. Now the trouble with that on this Mondeo is, let's turn the light on. There we go. Subframes are held in with bolts. They go in the holes like that. And the subframe sits in between there, no problem at all. On this one, however, this one there, I've had to cut the end of the bolt off, remove the subframe, and now what we're left with is a captive nut that's spinning in the chassis. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut the chassis right round there, fold it back round, repair this, either weld a new nut in there and replace it. Well, I'm going to have to replace the bolt anyway because I've cut it. But I'm going to have to do some sort of repair there. While we're on the film here, this is why the clutch is gone. Oh, you can see there that the springs are missing. Those springs there, that's all mangled up. That's come from inside. That's the pressure plate, and there's the new thrust bearing. A lot of people don't replace these. They do your clutch nice and cheap. And then a little while later it comes back with a noisy thrust bearing. I always do one because I do not want to do the job twice. So, gearbox is ready to go back onto a nice brand new clutch which I've already fitted. And after we've got the gearbox back together, we'll deal with the subframe fault. Bye for now. Okay, so I've cut all the way down there, all the way down to there, and around the side, down there. See that cut? It's a nice fine cut. Be a nice neat weld when it goes back together. What I've got to do now is heat this line up here, because I don't want to cut the whole thing out and make it too weak. I'll heat this line up here now and bend this out of the way, and then hopefully we can get to our fault. Okay, so I've cut it now. I've heated it up and I've pulled it down so we can get to the inside of the chassis. If we look at this bolt, let's get a nice clear picture there. Oh, look at that. As you can see, there's no way this bolt was ever going to come out of here. There's just one complete solid mess. So for that, like I say, we've had to cut a hole in the chassis. Never a good thing to do. It's always a lot of work because you've got to get it all nice and neat so it all goes back together nice. But we'll get it done. Bye for now. Good morning. It's coming up for 10:08. Right, Mondeo. Let's turn the light on this. There we go. What I've done this morning is I've ground up ready to go back together, all the surfaces. I've put this bolt in there, and what I've done, I've welded another big bolt on the end so that when I go to do the nut up, it doesn't spin inside the chassis. So, what we'll do, we'll close that panel up. Like that. Nice tight fit. And then I'll weld it up. See you in a minute when I've welded it up. We're back. It's all welded up now. All the way around. Our bolt's in there. It moves so we can line the subframe up. But it won't spin when we put the nut on. Christy. So yeah, we had to cut the bolts off there just to start with. They were so rounded off, couldn't even get a spanner on them. So that's gone back together with two new bolts. The exhaust manifold bolts that hold the catalytic converter on were seized. So rather than snapping the bolts in the manifold, those ones up there, I chose to cut the exhaust and then weld it back up afterwards, which I've done there. Look, nice job. This also had a very worn set of brake pads. A couple of mil left on there, when they should be that thick. Rather than coming back in a couple of weeks, I've done them now. So it's got a new set of brake pads on both sides, and that's the chassis that we cut earlier. And there's our new bolts all fixed up there, lovely. So just got the seat to weld and then we're done. Right, we're still on the Mondeo. That's what I'm talking to myself over here, Luke, on this film. We're still on the Mondeo. Now we're looking at the driver's seat. Driver's seat has been welded before, and it's broke just above the weld, if you can see that. There we go, look. There's the weld, fresh brake there. So we'll clean it up and we'll weld it. What we'll do this time is we'll weld this side of the seat as well, because that's all flopping about in the breeze. So let's weld it up. Okay, we'll weld it up. Weld it up inside the back there, on that edge on this side, and again on the front edge. So we're actually welded now in 3 different places. So we'll stick the side panel back on, this bit here, we'll stick all that back on, let it cool down a bit more, and then time for rotating.